Kelly here. We wanted to take a few minutes to share different ideas for teachers and parents of educational resources that you can use during this strange homeschool time. I'll start with one of my favorite websites that I use with my own children. Then Angela will follow up with another great resource just for you. So let's jump right on in. The website I want to show you is called Epic. This is the leading digital library for kids 12 and under. My kiddos absolutely love it. Basically, it's like going to the library without having to leave your house. Since, you can't do that anyway right now. Students can access the full library of over 40,000 ebooks, audiobooks, learning videos, and quizzes. The materials even come in Spanish, French, and Chinese. Epic is always free for elementary teachers and librarians. Also, Epic is offering free remote student access at home through the end of the school year. All you have to do is set up your teacher account and send out invitations to your parents so that the students can access the library at home. So here is my homepage for my classroom. You can see that I have my 2 children added to my classroom. When setting up your new roster, you can even pull from Google Classroom, as you can see right here. After you set up your class, you can begin to search for books. My girl is obsessed with unicorns, so that's what I'll go ahead and search. From this screen, you can see all of the options that are available about unicorns, such as books, videos, read to me, and even audiobooks. I can even filter out by age level, reading level, and a particular language. Once I find a book that I want to choose, I can click on it, and from here I can assign it to just one student or to my entire class. I can also add it to my favorites list or create a new collection based around a particular theme or unit. In addition to that, I can add questions where they already have questions, or I can add questions of my own that they can answer while they're looking at the quiz itself and reading the book. So this is just the first resource, and it's super simple. All right, Angela, take it away.
Edpuzzle is an online, easy-to-use video platform. It allows you to test comprehension from your students about what they're watching, the videos, and it makes it interactive. So let's log in and let's see how this works. I'm going to log in as a teacher, and I'm going to use my Google account. Any account will do. You just set up a free account. Once again, let me say that it is free. Once I have my account set up, I will come into what's called a landing page where it shows my content. Because I use general education as my subject when I set up my profile, it's going to show me what's trending in general education. It's going to show me what's trending in Louisiana. It's going to actually show me what's trending too in the United States. I also have the ability to come in and browse curriculum and drill down to those standards that I really need to find for my students. If you have other colleagues that are in your school using Edpuzzle, let's say your colleagues on your hallway, if you're all using Edpuzzle and they create a video, then you're able to access that video and put it into your own classroom. My content is anything that you have stored for yourself, for your students. Edpuzzle makes it really easy for you to gather your content. You don't have to go out of Edpuzzle into another tab to find your YouTube video. You can simply click on one of these channels and find the video that you need. So there's no switching back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That first channel, Edpuzzle, is where every teacher who has already created an Edpuzzle is stored in Edpuzzle. So my whole thing of not recreating the wheel, you can go in and find whoever else has created a video on that content, and you can make it your own. So that's what kind of I did with this content. In the free version, you get 20 videos. I have 20 videos for free in the basic account. That's a lot of videos. So I'm going to actually look at this Bill Nye. Bill Nye, this one was generated by another teacher. If you see at the bottom, these little droplets, these are where the questions are. And you can see where the timestamps are of where the questions are being asked. Now, when I pull this from another teacher, it's going to say copy right here. But because I've already done it, it says duplicate. So if I wanted to ask it in multiple sections, I can do that. I'm going to hit this edit button because I need to see what the questions are, because these were generated from another teacher. It shows me the question, but it doesn't show me their multiple choice answers. To get to that, I click on that little bubble right there, and I can see the question. If this is not the type of question that I would have asked my students, or if I would have needed to word it a different way, I can simply hit the pencil edit button, and I can go in and edit the question to meet the needs of my students, and then I can hit the save. I can also, if I don't want this question, if this is a question I wouldn't ask my students, I can delete it from my video. So once I'm finished making it my own, I hit finish, and then I can assign it to my students. I can assign it to a class. If you have an LMS outside of Google Classroom, you can link it to your Edpuzzle, and it will load into the classes that you need them to go to. I want you to check out this. I always turn this on because I don't want my students skipping through the video. So make sure that that's turned on. But as I'm going through, as I'm finishing it, I now have in my content, I have a video that I can assign to my students that will, as the video goes on, it stops and asks them a question. Now let's say that I wanted to create my own. Here's a video that I found, and I want to create my own. So I'm going to pull it up, and I'm going to hit edit. I have not asked any questions yet. So when I hit edit, I'm going to watch the video. I recommend watching it thoroughly at first and gathering your questions before you start this. But when I'm ready to ask a question, I'll hit the question button, and I'll decide multiple choice, open-ended, or I can leave a note. I can leave an audio note, or I can make a little note to make things as clear as possible for my students. If it's a little gray in what we're teaching, I can give them a heads up. So once I find in my video, once I find the question that I want to ask, if I open-ended question, I can ask them what their prior knowledge is. And then they can type in their answer. Where does all this go? All this goes into my gradebook. Once the students are finished, it goes into my gradebook. I can check for that content in my gradebook, and I can see where my students, the questions they got right, the questions they got wrong, and I can actually go into it and upload it into my gradebook if I need to. So here's my 6th grade class, and I'm going to import my classes. I can set up a test class. So these are the assignments, and with a due date. Remember, I can set up a due date. And then I can come back later and check my students' work, check my students' comprehension. When I'm creating my videos, just remember, you don't have to go through these. You can actually create your own. So when I'm going into my content and I add content, right here, upload a video. So I can upload myself using a whiteboard app to actually explain a math concept and ask questions in between for my students. So, or I could have myself taking, like reading a book, and they can stop and answer questions along the way as I'm reading the book to them. You can either, so for example, you can either go to ones that are already generated, find ones in the popular channels, or you can create your own.